wish I did. Is that still a thing? Do they still make the clapper?
I'm going to Google it as soon as I can. They still have Chia Pets. I've seen Chia Pets around. They have like Ollies or some dumb shit. But if you had the clapper right now, my mom's boyfriend had the clapper like when we were... he had it over here, so like I was probably a young adult. Had the fucking clapper down in the basement, and it's cool except for it's a little bit because like it's very sensitive. So if you accidentally make any sort of noise, like all of a sudden there goes everything, the lights, the TV, whatever it is.
No, I thought about that in my adult years. Like, what if like somebody's breaking into your house and you pulled out your gun and you shot at them? Yeah. Would the lights then go out?
Probably.
And would you then be blind and now he has a chance to shoot you or stab you?
I mean, it could be interesting, yeah.
I'd like to know how many crimes were committed and were fatal due to the clapper.
Well, then if it's an actual shootout, bang, bang, it's just going to be on and off, and yeah.
That's true.
Fucking clapper. Clap on, clap off, the clapper.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, that's probably super inconvenient.
Yeah, it was very sensitive to it.
Probably killed people's fucking like electric bills and shit sometimes.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, there's any sort of weird noise that could turn on your stuff. Yeah, it was for the lights, and you could do whatever. Like he had it rigged to the lights and the TV. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about having it rigged to like electronics.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh yeah. It turned on everything.
It
turned on everything. Yeah. But obviously
awesome.
It didn't sustain because we haven't heard of it for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
We ready to start?
Yeah, I think so.
Ready to start? Lead us in.
It's been so long since I've done Ohio Wrestling.
It has been. Don't make me feel guilty about it. I know it's been a long time.
It's been too long.
It's been a long time. It's been a while. If we're gonna start a Stain sing along, I got a couple better songs we could go with
for sure.
Home. Oh, that was a good one.
Home was a good one.
That was a real good one.
Album.
Yeah.
Their first album was their best one for sure.
Yeah. Well, Break the Cycle was good.
But yeah, it wasn't. But there was yeah.
And then I guess maybe like 4 or 5 years ago now, they had a newer CD that actually I didn't listen to the whole CD, but they had a song on the radio and it kicked ass.
I don't remember.
It sounded more old school, like from Dysfunction. Yeah.
Last thing I remember was just Aaron Lewis, and he did a cover of Black by Pearl Jam.
Yeah, that was a while ago. It was good.
Yeah, no.
And then his country stuff's pretty good. I'm not a country fan, but he's good at it.
Yeah, me either, but I haven't heard any of that.
No, he's good at it, man.
But with that said, welcome to Ohio Wrestlecast number 11, I believe.
We are at 11, yes, sir. Yeah, 10 was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a good run of 10.
Yeah, we did have a good run of 10, and we've been slacking. That's on us. That's on me.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. But I think it's WrestleMania season is here. The road to WrestleMania, as they call it.
Yeah, about the time we started.
It is. We're getting close to a year because our first episode was kind of WrestleMania.
What it was the WrestleMania preview with 00.
That's 00. So wait, so we did 00. Did that?
That means we're technically at 12. But
we're not going to worry about that now.
00 for me is always kind of like the pilot episode.
Oh, that's fair. All right, that's good. I can accept that. Yeah. But yeah, man, this is a good time to get back together, start talking some wrestling. Hopefully, our fans haven't completely abandoned us. So I'm going to have to reach out to some folks and say like, hey, we are doing this still.
Yeah, we're still here.
We're still here. But you got a nice professional looking get up going here, man. This is
some things have changed.
Well, I've been watching Jam Up. I've been part of Jam Up a couple of times as well, and but we're changing some things around and adapting, evolving. It's a good thing, man. I think this looks good.
Thanks, man. I've been trying. We were told to be a little more professional, me and Jeff. So that's what we're trying to do.
Who told you that?
Jeff's manager, because he's putting us on his website and stuff like that. He's just saying, what happened? Like, he didn't like, hey, well, you need to be more. He was just more like, what happened to the table and the mic stand and stuff? You should keep doing that. That looks better. So that we did.
It is a little more professional, but then again, every once in a while, maybe you go to the couch and have a casual feel to it too.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, and I guess I could just go ahead and let it be known. It's not like it's unofficial or anything, but we're planning on doing a live stream from WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And I figured we'd go back to the couch for that, just so we're more comfortable. That's what
everybody's doing. Yeah, you're not sitting at a table with microphones on the couch watching it normally, so make the viewers, anybody who would be doing a watch along with you, feel comfortable. You're on the couch.
It's like they're there with
pizza
us,
and buffalo chicken dip and drinking beer.
Exactly. They're on the other side of the room.
That's it. You want to bring it like they're in with you. Yeah, exactly. Man. So. Well, we're talking WrestleMania. We're talking WrestleMania this year, and I guess God dang, Walt, you should know. Be a professional. Yeah. Be a pro by now. He does these all the time. Yeah, he kind of looked shamed. He knows.
Jesus, you're the worst producer
ever. A ruckus over there. But man, we're talking WrestleMania. We were talking before we started. I guess a good way to kick us off is just a generalization. Like on a scale from 1 to 10, what's your excitement level right now? This is February 25th, so we still got a little over a month to go. But what's your excitement level right now for WrestleMania, the card, what we know, how it's shaping up? Where are you sitting at?
Well, in all honesty, I'm not fully aware of the card, but
there's not a ton announced yet.
I can say
there's some
that
rumored stuff, but
I am less excited than I was because of everything happening with Becky Lynch at the moment.
Okay. So you were less than.
Yes, less than I was.
Okay.
I was very pumped when Becky was in, I guess, the co-main event with Ronda Rousey for the title.
I think it's the main event, but...
Well, yeah. Really. For us, it is.
I mean, I think it will be, period. I think it's going to go on last.
Oh, do you really?
Absolutely.
It was last year, too, wasn't
it? No, it was Brock and Roman last
You're right.
year. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be on last. But
do you think if Roman was still here, it would be Roman as the main event?
I'm trying to remember the timeline where, we had heard that the idea, like I think before it was more Charlotte and Rousey was kind of the projected plan that they want. If they wanted a women's match headline in WrestleMania, that would have probably have been the match.
Yeah.
Maybe I think that might have been what they talked about before the Roman thing happened. So the chances definitely improved with Roman's thing and Roman being out.
I agree with that.
But I think it was still maybe at least on the table the entire time with Rousey's mainstream success.
Oh, I have no doubt that Rousey was always
Rousey would be the one to do it. Yeah, but so you're down a little bit. You're not a fan with the Becky Charlotte.
I like
integrating.
All that. Well, I guess I'm less excited than I was, but I'm also kind of still excited that. Because I'm pretty sure this Becky knee thing is all a work.
Oh, yeah. They're doing it to build sympathy for the character, and very similar to when Stone Cold had the neck injury with Owen Hart.
Yes.
When he got Tombstone. You got to bring him out here, and you just want to see more. You want to see him get his redemption. That's kind of what they're doing with Becky. I mean, the similarities are very obvious.
I mean, yeah, Becky is the female Stone Cold right now.
Right, which is fine, which is a great comparison.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
Keep it going. I like it.
Yeah, that's not a knock. When you say that the comparisons are obvious, it's not a knock. It's actually a compliment.
No, Stone
Cold
Cold
is in the same breath as that 97 Stone Cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a knock to be compared to someone who's arguably one of the greatest wrestlers.
Oh, one of the biggest stars there ever was, yeah. And Becky, it's on her way.
And I don't think you're wrong. Her very much being a Stone Cold-like character right now, I have no doubt that just because Becky isn't officially scheduled in the match doesn't mean she's not going to be a part of the match.
She's going to be a part of the match.
I mean, look at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
How do you think
she's going to be a part of the match. They're telling the story to get us there.
She showed up on every single show since even house shows.
Well, she wasn't at the house show that we were at because it was the same night as a Raw.
All right, maybe not every single, but she showed up at probably 8 out of 10 shows.
Oh, sure.
Since all this shit has happened, and
they're using the internet, they're using their social media presence to continue that storyline, which is smart. For
sure.
2019 is what you need to do.
They're rebirthing kayfabe right now.
Shit that's not supposed to happen would not supposed to be happening on the house shows anywhere. If she's really this loose cannon character, she'd be attacking them when the cameras aren't on. Yeah, it's well, I think that aspect has been really well done.
But I guess to answer your question, I'm still excited.
It's WrestleMania.
And I guess now that I think about it, I'm probably more excited because of everything because now I really don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
If it was like Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda 3-way match or something, I'd kind of know. I would at least be more expectant of things. This, I really have no idea. I'm sure Becky's going to run out at some point, or who knows? Maybe they'll last minute put her in the match for some fucked up.
Yeah, they might reason. Not announce the actual match until they actually get there. As the Hardy Boys a couple years ago, when they were entered the last second.
Exactly.
It's WrestleMania. People are going to watch it anyway. So for them to be in there, even though it was rumored that they could be there, for them to get added that last second gave a real extra excitement to it. And it wasn't like they lost any viewers because, if we would have known the Hardy Boys would have been on, I would have watched, but I didn't now, It's not really like that.
No.
I agree with you. Like, I think the excitement on paper is less because last year you had like AJ Styles and Nakamura, you had Asuka and Charlotte, Brock and Roman was going to be the main, but like they either announced the matches early or the Cena Undertaker thing was what it was. So you either announced the matches early or you knew where they were going with it. You knew that Rousey was going to be a part of it with her tag match.
Yeah.
This year we don't know much. We're sitting here about a month away. We don't know a whole lot. We don't know what they're going to do with the WWE Championship match, which we'll talk about later. Asuka, which is kind of disappointing, has been great. She's done everything they've asked her to do. She's got the SmackDown Women's title, and it's definitely taken a back seat to what's going on with the Raw Women's title, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it still feels like it's a little underwhelming for Asuka right now. But for me, if we're talking about Becky and Charlotte and the Rousey storyline, I actually like it a lot for a couple of reasons. Becky's the hottest thing going right now.
Yeah.
She's the hottest thing going, male or female.
Agreed.
She deserves the spot. The spot isn't as big without Rousey being there because Rousey is a mainstream name. You know what I mean?
If it was just her and Charlotte,
if it was
again,
Becky and Charlotte, it would be cool. It's a women's main event. It would be a very good match.
But it wouldn't be talked about in mainstream media like it has been.
Exactly. So Rousey is there, not because she necessarily earned it in the ring, but I think she gets maybe dumped on a little bit too hard. I think she's been fine for a chick that's less than a year in.
Yeah.
I think she's been fine, but she's in there because of the name value. Now we're a lot of folks are getting upset is that they say we want Becky and we want Becky and Rousey. That's the match we want.
Yeah. There's
two things. A, Charlotte deserves it. Absolutely 100%.
Oh, no
Charlotte
doubt.
fucking deserves the spot because while Becky is the absolute hottest thing going and she deserves it as well. I'm not saying that she doesn't. Charlotte is the centerpiece of why women's wrestling is what it is. And I say that as a guy who's a huge Sasha Banks fan. I'm a huge Asuka fan.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge
As am
Becky
I.
fan. But Charlotte is the reason why women's wrestling even has a shot to be in the main event.
When it comes down to it, in my opinion, as much as I love Becky is my favorite. I'm a Becky guy through and through. Charlotte is the best female wrestler on the roster.
I think she's the best female wrestler of all time.
I mean, I haven't seen every female wrestler.
I can't even
I don't know
imagine
every
who would
indie
compare.
female wrestler.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know all the New Japan chicks. All I know is out of all the female wrestlers I know of, Charlotte is the best.
Yeah. Yeah, so A, I think she deserves a spot, and B, I think they got her in there because they need a clear-cut heel. I don't think they wanted Rousey to ever really be the heel, and I don't think Rousey...
No, they never did.
I don't think Rousey wants to be the heel, because it's different things that you've heard. She didn't like the negative backlash she got while she was in the UFC.
Oh, and you can tell she doesn't like the backlash she's getting now.
Right now, and that's the thing is against Becky, Jesus Christ would be a heel right now.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
because Becky is that over. She's that hot right now. Or just anybody against her is going to get booed, whether you're portraying a heel or not. They're not behind her. The crowd's not going to be behind her. The crowd at WrestleMania is definitely not going to be behind her. So you add Charlotte in there, where she is the absolute true heel.
It's the way to give Ronda her baby face back.
That's just it. And she can still be Rousey. She can still be the gray area, whatever you want to call it, where a
tweener.
Right. I've earned my spot despite you bitches. But Charlotte's the heel, Becky's the baby face, and Rousey can be Rousey. And you got those three characters that'll, I think, will combine to make a really good main event. So
I agree. I don't. I guess I spoke too soon. Like, I'm still very, very excited about this. I guess, if I'm honest, for a minute there, I was a little butthurt that Becky was, didn't have the spotlight anymore. Even though, like, really, I must be a mark. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say, so they're upset because they put the spotlight on Charlotte, who's the heel, and
fell for it,
Becky, who is the baby face, and you're upset about it, and you want to see her get a redemption? You just pull out your wallet and hand it to him, man. I guess that's the idea, yeah.
You love to hate it.
So, I mean, and it is a unique situation now where they are building. That's the top storyline. That's the top storyline in the company. And I think it's kind of strange because you feel like things might be a little underwhelming right now. But it's because the women are front and center usually, and they've never had been before.
Yeah.
So when you think about what's going on with the guys, and you think it's a little underwhelming, it's like, well, it's because most of the focus is going towards the women for this match. But it is, they have Becky where they are doing the work knee injury. to build sympathy for, to build the storyline of being suspended, etc. But she's not actively wrestling, building up the match. Rousey's actually doing the heavy lifting with the active wrestling right now.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit strange. And then when we talk about Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, every Brock Lesnar match has been, you kind of have to build it around him because he ain't going to be there. But I guess Seth has been nursing a back injury from what I've read.
Oh, really?
Which is why he's actually not been wrestling the last few weeks.
Okay. I didn't know all that.
Yeah. So I guess they want him to have him rested up for the match, which makes sense. But again, now you got the biggest, men's title match on the show. It's kind of tough selling because, again, Lesnar's rarely there. That's Lesnar. Brock's going to
Rollins
Brock.
is not there to
And Rollins isn't there in ring, which is why we're behind Rollins. It's not because he's the most dynamic character, best promo. You're behind him because he's incredible in the ring, and they're going to tell an underdog story. How basically everybody is against Brock, with Rollins going in. I think that match should be really good.
Oh, I have no doubt. Well, like I've always said, Brock is as good as his opponent is.
Yeah.
His matches are as good as his opponent is.
Brock is as good as Brock wants to be, but it seems like he always enjoys working with smaller guys.
Yeah.
He had a great match with AJ, a great match with Finn Balor and Daniel Bryan, and I think where these guys can bump and sell for him, and then the feeds, the comebacks are that much more, get him, get that big fucker. Get behind it.
I mean, especially when you see like a Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman match, it's kind of like two big guys like thumbing around
sympathy.
in the ring.
And that's the thing. If you're a babyface, you need sympathy to be a successful babyface, and it's hard to build sympathy for a guy like Braun who's a monster. Easy to cheer for him because he just goes in and destroys objects and humans, and everybody loves a car crash.
Yeah.
But there's a guy, where we were talking that there's not a lot known. Braun Strowman has been a big star for them this year. Really no idea what he's doing WrestleMania-wise,
Yeah.
this is off the top of your head, any ideas, anything that you would like to see, say, a Braun Strowman?
Like any match, like a Braun Strowman match versus somebody?
Yeah. That's been a big star for them. He's been an attraction for them. What do you think of Braun? Like, what would be a good Braun match to see? Immediately you start thinking like other giants, like you want to see that car crash. But then we just talked about Brock Lesnar, where it's like, God, it's not that great.
I don't know. I mean, a part of me wants to say, just finally give him Baron Corbin. Give him a legitimate Baron Corbin match. But I don't want to see Baron Corbin wrestle.
Nobody wants to see a Baron Corbin
So I can't
match.
say that confidently. And
I think they're trying to get that out of the way to squash it before they get there. Maybe McIntyre.
McIntyre would be good.
I mean, they're both on that really upper level where whoever wins that match, I think, could probably really benefit going forward.
Yeah.
And be kind of cemented as a top guy.
Seems like they work halfway decent together, too. So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I'm thinking maybe Samoa Joe. Maybe you have you kind of build up a monster from each brand.
Is he not already in something? I thought
I don't think so.
Just on a show this week.
Joe?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, it wasn't. Me and Jeff watched.
You stop messing with my hoodie, Walt.
Walter.
He's going to hunt my hoodie, isn't he? Oh,
He wants to lay on it, I think.
Oh,
I can hang it up if you want.
That's all right. I'll wash it anyway. Walt, son of a...
You bastard. Always waylaying the show.
You can just see Walt's face right now. Like, he knows it. He knows that he's interrupted the vibe of this show.
Just chill out.
Son of a bitch.
Damn yous.
Well, let's jump to the SmackDown side with what's current right now. Because, we talked about the Universal title match. So the WWE title match, there's still another one coming. So we don't know who the champion's going to be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kofi Mania a little bit, man.
Oh, man.
I mean, what do you think about that altogether?
I love it. I'm definitely on Team Kofi. I wanted him to win at Elimination Chamber. I wanted, and I always root for AJ if AJ's in the match, but not me. I was all about Kofi, and they sold it well. They definitely made me feel like he had a shot. They might give it to him.
Which is amazing because he wasn't even supposed to be in the match. It was supposed to be Mustafa Ali, and he got injured. They throw in Kofi, and then all of a sudden, I mean, very, very, very quickly, they kind of wrote out this story for you of he's been here for 11 years.
Yeah.
And, and he's and me and Josh had actually talked about this via text. We're just like kind of saying that's an organic thing. It's not a here's your baby face, cheer for him. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's an organic thing. The guy's been on 11 years. He's obviously very talented. He's done everything the company's ever asked him to do. He seems like genuinely a great human being.
Yeah. He used to be Jamaican.
And he lost that. I mean, He's a guy that's done everything they asked him to do. He's been entertaining. And then it's hard to say where you're like, well, I don't know if he's a main event guy. He's never gotten the real shot, you know. And he ran that gauntlet on SmackDown where he had a great performance.
It was an hour. Went
over an hour, and then at the Elimination Chamber where the finish, and I mean, where you were just so maybe they'll do it. Maybe he'll get the belt.
Yeah.
It's an organic feeling. And then Josh and I were talking a few days ago was the anniversary of Eddie Guerrero winning the world title at No Way Out.
Okay.
Against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That, again, was such an organic thing that you couldn't build it as well as reality had built it. Had built Eddie Guerrero who he was. Was a very, very talented dude, but never going to be a top guy, right? He's 5 foot nothing. He's 200 pounds. Yeah, and he had personal troubles and all that until all of a sudden, there he is on that doorstep against Brock Lesnar. And if you ever watch that match, which if you haven't, I suggest anybody watch No Way Out 2004. Yeah. Eddie versus Brock, where Eddie wins the WWE Championship, and it's amazing. I mean, you will tear up watching it right now, knowing the result.
I don't doubt that.
Because
especially, knowing
it was an organically built thing, and I think they kind of have it with Kofi. And the fact that it's February right before WrestleMania is kind of coincidence, but I don't know. I would say pull the trigger.
Yeah, I would say it's a coincidence and extremely lucky timing for Kofi Kingston.
Sure.
Because who doesn't it's hard to pass up giving somebody a WrestleMania moment. That sells tickets, Well,
here's the question for they're booked to wrestle at Fastlane in Cleveland. That will most likely be the main event unless there's maybe a Rousey match because Brock's not going to wrestle in that one. So most likely will be the main event match. Me and Josh were talking about this. I say pull the trigger there. I say give him the title win there as opposed to WrestleMania because WrestleMania is almost too big. Where if Kofi won the belt at WrestleMania...
Where could he go from there?
Well, and it would be one moment amongst others. Whereas we're talking about the No Way Out thing with Eddie. There's one reason to watch that show, but there's a reason why everybody should watch that show. Because that is Eddie's moment on that smaller show. The biggest moment on a smaller show as opposed to
I guess
a very big moment on a very big show where I don't want, if they did it, I wouldn't want it to be lost.
I get it, yeah.
Because Becky's probably going to beat Rousey in the main event.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
He'd be outshined by the rest of the show.
Right, and I wouldn't want that for him. I think if they're going to pull the trigger, I say do it at Fastlane. You have a Kofi-Bryan rematch at Mania. Probably be very, very good.
Well, then what do you say they do at WrestleMania?
I say that'd be the rematch.
Yeah, no, I get a rematch, but does he retain the title?
I don't know.
I mean, how long do you think this Kofi push is going to last?
Before the novelty of it wears off. I mean, it depends. It depends if he can have great main event matches at that level. If he can have a 20-minute main event match where people are still absolutely into him,
I agree.
Then it can last for months upon months. But if it really is just the novelty of it, I'd still pull the trigger on it because imagine the pop if he pins Daniel Bryan, wins the title. It's going to blow the roof off the place because it's a guy who deserves it. I mean, it is. But a guy deserving it doesn't mean he's going to necessarily make your company money. It doesn't mean he's going to be the top draw for your company. And that's what you kind of got to be if you're the champion. Yeah. So I would say pull the trigger. I would say if he...
Give him the shot at least.
Sustain the success. Yeah, give him a nice, multi-month run with the belt. If not, you could drop it back and you still want to be able to take away that moment of a guy who had been there for, as we talked about, 11 years, a guy who's done everything from the ass, a guy,
It's not like he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, he does. I mean, if there's a Lifetime Achievement Award,
I don't
deserves
doubt
that moment.
That he could pull it off, too. I mean, especially looking at that gauntlet match, looking at his Elimination Chamber performance. Sure. I mean, he does good. He's a good wrestler. He's a very good wrestler.
He's always been a good wrestler.
And he does a lot of really cool, interesting things. Sure. He proved it all just within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that he can do that stuff and have the crowd be behind you and want to see you succeed.
I mean,
that's
knows?
Huge.
He could be a top. He could put on 5-star, 4-star matches. You know what I mean?
If you got the crowd behind you like that, man, I don't know. I say pull the trigger on it. I say do it at Fastlane.
I mean, yeah. And I mean...
I would have popped huge in my living room by myself if they would have pulled the trigger at Elimination Chamber, but it was smart that they didn't because now you got another match. Yeah. Now you got what this pay-per-view, which is again it's a pit stop on the road to WrestleMania. It's what they call it, and it's what it is. It's not necessarily supposed to be the most important show, but You got me because I want to see it. I want to see if he can do it, man.
Yeah,
I want
me
to see
too.
it. I'm excited for that match. I'm very excited for that match. It's
Agreed.
a match again that they built that story kind of out of nothing. They pulled it out of thin air and it's working.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're right. It just naturally, it kind of just fell into Kofi's lap.
I think so. It fell into WWE's lap and fell into our lap because it's really the thing. With the exception of with Becky and her storyline, it's the thing I'm most excited about in wrestling right now is the Kofi Mania.
Yeah.
This storyline going where.
Well, I guess with that said, I have a 2-part question for you now.
Hit me.
Part 1, and I'll ask them both now.
Okay.
Part 1, Kofi wins. Do they break up the New Day? Mm-hmm. Part 2, would that be terrible? Or could it be absolutely amazing?
Part 1, I would say no, not immediately. I would say no. Let him be part of the New Day. Let him be the champion. And let the other two
give us the happy, supportive New Day
now,
for a little while.
Where you could go with that is having Big E or Woods be jealous, and that would.
I would say Big E.
Yeah, and then that would be the catalyst to turn a month or two down the road. So do you split them up immediately? No, but could you build a storyline out of that? Absolutely.
And could that be absolutely amazing?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
I definitely think so. It could be.
I think that would be the catalyst where you could build yourself a couple single stars because they're not hurting for tag teams. For the first time in a long time, they're not hurting for tag teams.
They even put fucking DIY back together. So, yeah, they're definitely not hurting for tag teams. But, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day at work, just filling fucking donuts and shit, just thinking, like, wow, how sad would it be if they did break up the New Day?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, they would never do that. They shouldn't do that.
One of their jealousies, which would probably be, you say Big E has the turn, and Woods is kind of on the fence, and you can go either way with it with him then, whether he stays baby or if he turns heel along with him. That's a good story, one that could. And we talked about this before with the Charlotte and Becky storyline too. It's a story everybody can identify with. It really, really is. We're all buddies. We all want everybody to do great until somebody does better than you.
Yep.
And then when somebody does better than you, I'm happy for them. But are you?
I'm happy for them, but I'm sad for me.
But I'm sad for me. And at what point does that jealousy overtake you? Am I talking about a wrestling storyline or am I talking about real life? I'm talking about both when I say that. I mean, because that's something that's very identifiable. That's something that you can easily see that story being told
for sure
and understand it completely. So, I mean, there you go. I think you just wrote
this is what they need to do.
3-4 months of storyline pretty easily, and if all things go well, you can make yourself a couple different single stars
for sure. You can give Big E a push and give fucking Kofi a push, maybe even Xavier Woods a push.
Why not? When the Shield broke up, it didn't feel like it felt like Roman's is going to explode out of this group, but it was Seth that turned heel and Seth that really got a great run as well, and Ambrose took a little bit longer to get there, but he got 3 single stars out of that by doing,
I mean, I wouldn't be, I wasn't really watching when they first broke up the Shield, but even the second time when Ambrose turned heel and shit, I wasn't like that saddened by it, but New Day would genuinely be saddening.
They had a long, long run.
And they're so
positivity, lovable baby faces.
That would be the death of positivity.
And I think Big E could carry himself well enough. He's a good promo and he's an intense, intimidating looking guy.
I mean that would essentially be the death of the PG era. I would think like that would have to be like a marking stone in history.
And then you would get an edge on Kofi too of you want to ruin everything that we built. You know.
It would almost feel wrong. Like, why did you do this, WWE? But at the same time, you got to think, like, that's why we love wrestling. This is what wrestling is. This is what we're missing about wrestling. Is they're too easy on us. They need to fucking stab us in the heart sometimes. I
wish you were around for the original Shield breakup, because that's what it was.
I bet it was.
That's what it was.
I bet it was.
That's how a lot of folks felt. Man, you just mentioned DIY, so let's use that as a segue. Last week on Raw, which is today's Monday, so it was a week ago, very randomly, to be honest, there wasn't any hype about bringing up some of the NXT stars.
There was a little bit, but they didn't say anything about DIY. They were talking about Lacey Evans and
the EC3 and Heavy Machinery, but that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's the only hype they've really done.
These 4 that just came up are like the big 4 of NXT.
Yeah.
Got brought up with no hype, no video packages, no anything. They brought up Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano DIY. They brought up Aleister Black and they brought up Ricochet. All guys that have been either heavyweight champion or North American champion. You're really in the top spots for NXT for quite a while now. So they bring them all up to Raw, and then they were on SmackDown as well. They all went over in their matches, so they're bringing them up, showing success. And the storyline is that Raw needs to be exciting. So here we're bringing exciting new talent here to you. But how do you feel about those guys being called up, and how do you feel about the way that they're executing it?
Well, I'm just gonna ignore like the people that were brought up. Like
we're not, and I
before.
didn't really like that they brought them all up at the same time. Just kind of a cluster of here's all these new guys, and then in reality, Lacey Evans is only wrestled at the Royal Rumble. Lars Sullivan, I'd heard had like a panic attack, is what they're saying online.
He just has never appeared
made his
yet.
debut, and then EC3 has had kind of a lukewarm debut. He hasn't got to cut a promo, which he's actually good at.
Yeah, he actually just got dissed by Dean Ambrose, and then you never saw him again.
Never seen him again. So it's kind of strange how they did those guys. Nikki Cross has been on both shows, doing a little bit more than everything else.
And it's very weird with Nikki. They teamed her up with Alicia Fox, and she just doesn't seem crazy. Like, why isn't she with Sanity? Not only that, where the fuck is Sanity?
Yeah, Erica was finally on last Thursday. Yeah, that's the thing they do. They kind of bring them up without a whole lot of direction, which I think maybe is second in what we're talking about with these four guys, because these are the top four guys in NXT. They really are.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dreamer would be in that conversation too. But Ricochet, Aleister Black, Gargano, and Ciampa. How do you feel about them being up, and how do you feel about how they're kind of doing it?
I like those people. I like all of them, and I'm glad they're there. I'm worried that they're gonna be like Nakamura, Sami Zayn, everybody who were very much potential top guys, not being top guys at all. I mean,
Owens was the only one that had a little bit of a run as a top guy.
Yeah, and the only reason he did is because Finn Balor got hurt.
That's true. Well, that was and he probably could have maybe the best run out of those guys, but he got hurt. So,
yeah. And they never even gave Finn Balor that push, and they pretended like they were going to a few weeks back, but.
Right.
So I'm very happy to see him there. I love all of them people. I'm really surprised Velveteen Dream wasn't one of them.
Yeah,
but
I think he might be the most main roster ready with his character and everything. But
I haven't been watching NXT, so I don't know if Gargano and Ciampa have made up prior.
They kind of been a slow build towards their making up. Gargano has had a slow heel turn, and
But DIY being back together as a tag team, is that something that just suddenly happened on Raw?
More or less, yes. Yeah, they teamed up on that halftime heat special with Adam Cole.
Okay, I heard about that.
But more or less, yes. And that is why I got to tell you, I hate it. I absolutely hate it, because those guys shouldn't be lumped together. They're also talented enough. They should have been brought up separate, with video packages, with hype involved. Aleister Black, I mean, looks like a star. He's got the entrance.
They should have had those Jericho debuts.
Yeah, and he got brought up there. Michael Cole going, he's dark and brooding. Like, yeah, I mean, they're trying to put him over, the character, but you bring them all up at once. And then the other thing is that you're giving. Okay, so just for example, let's say I never watched NXT, and you're telling me that these are the top four guys. Cool. All right. Well, now I see Ricochet. Yeah, and he can fly. He's really cool. Well, there's still three more. Okay, here's DIY against Revival, and they had a great tag match. Okay, cool. But then there's still another guy. I want to see him. It's all, you know what I mean? It's always wanting more. It's always wanting more, as opposed to bring up Ricochet on his own and have a highlight package of all the incredible high flying shit that he can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And build just him to the point where I'm real. You know, I don't. Maybe I'm a casual fan. I don't have the network, but I want to see who this guy is and what he can do.
Yeah.
And then you give me him. And then I'm really excited to just see him instead of, here's four really good wrestlers, watch these guys.
You're right. I didn't think about it like you're. Yeah. Now that you mention all that, I am kind of pissed about they wasted like a bunch of awesome.
They wasted a lot.
Potentially awesome introductions and run-ins or surprise.
Sure. Aleister Black has such a cool character that you should make me anticipate seeing him.
You're right.
And just him, as opposed to, you know, I mean, we're wrestling fans, so we can watch Monday Night Raw tonight because we know these 4 guys are going to be on there, and we know we're going to get good matches, and that's cool. But does it really do them any justice, or each person individually? Ciampa and Gargano had, the storyline, the feud of the year last year.
Mm-hmm.
They had such a great story that was being told that is now being kind of shot in the foot because it's still going, and now they're just up there on Raw. It's like, hey, these 2 guys are good.
They're
wrestlers.
essentially undoing it.
Nobody knows their story.
Yeah.
If you don't, unless you're
like
NXT.
a diehard fan.
But now you just got these 2 guys that they're good wrestlers in their tag team. Nobody knows the incredible story that they had told over at NXT because you're not giving us a chance to.
Yeah.
Instead of building telling the story, showing some highlights of the matches and stuff, and say these 2 guys are coming, and highlights of them as a tag team even.
You think
these
maybe they're trying to pull a Broken Hardyverse type deal, like they're trying to redo it?
I don't know.
Main roster style?
Maybe they could. They could be. It's hard to tell.
I think it wouldn't be nearly as good, probably.
The fact that they're merging this much between Raw and SmackDown, where it's just like you can kind of go whatever show you want. Between the NXT guys, just kind of going over a show they want, and including NXT. The fact that they're merging these universes after they try it again to separate them again, I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah, well,
I think it screams desperation.
I think that they brought all these people up from NXT, and they're probably going to continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might be wrong, but I heard somewhere they're merging 205 Live on NXT.
Okay.
So they're probably trying to clear out
some space.
But they should have, like, all right, take some time off. We're going to introduce you this week. We're going to introduce you next month. We're going to introduce you at WrestleMania with the surprise shit.
Okay.
Like, instead of this high school, like, all right, here's the new class.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And then with NXT,
the new kids.
The flip side of NXT is that if you got Gargano, Ciampa, Ricochet, Aleister Black, along with Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream, if you got these guys that are all these top guys that are always at the top of the cards, then the developmental system isn't really serving its purpose because nobody's going to get over them. So they got to graduate at some point. But what you're saying is true. We're going to start maybe merging the talents. We're going to start. I think, and I hate saying this because you never want to see anybody lose their job, but I think they're due for some spring cleaning. Just all together on the roster. I think there's a lot of guys. Ty Dillinger
they're
just
releasing
left.
a bunch. Yeah,
not going to miss him. T.J.
Arn.
Perkins.
They released Arn.
I read something today that had something to do with an incident with Vince directly. Yeah, I read that just today online. Who knows how much merit that has? Yeah. That is strange.
I'm curious.
But they released Ty Dillinger. They released T.J. Perkins. They got so much talent that, just honestly, do them the favor of releasing them. But now the thing is, I know with the AEW thing
I was about to say, you think
they're
holding off because of AEW?
I truly don't believe that Vince or anybody else thinks they're going to be real life competition. Like, I don't think they're really going to take away money from them. You do?
I do.
I don't think so. I think there's so much wrestling out there now that
I don't think they're gonna put them under, but I think that they are gonna be.
I don't see.
They're not gonna be competition right off the rip, but I do think they are potential, like WCW competition in the future.
So.
Really? With all the backing they got, all the money they're throwing around?
Doesn't matter. WWE is such a brand that's established itself.
No, again, I don't think WWE's never... I don't think WWE's going to go under. They're always going to be what they are from here on out.
Yeah.
But I think that AEW is going to be more than Impact Wrestling or TNA ever was.
Well, maybe. And that would be a good thing. But at the same time, I don't... I think it should be a great alternative. I think everything should be the alternative because alternative is good. Alternative has always been good. For music, movies, etc., having that second option is always good. But I don't think that, well, especially when you're talking about releasing a guy like a Ty Dillinger, which I'm not saying trying to bury him. He's a fairly talented dude. He worked hard. Nobody's going to miss him. Not one soul's going to miss him at all in WWE. The wheel will never stop turning, and in this, it's not even going to slow down. Like, it's just not that big of a deal. I think there's a lot of talent out there that, Ty Dillinger and T.J. Perkins go to All Elite Wrestling. Okay, go ahead. Like, you're not going to sell any more tickets because those guys are there.
No, I was never a T.J. Perkins guy. I like Ty Dillinger, but T.J. Perkins just wasn't all that.
If AEW wanted to make an impact, yeah, get Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Well,
they got Kenny Omega.
Give me Brock Lesnar versus Kenny Omega. And
they got Jericho. They got quite a few people.
That's what I'm
now.
saying. You get Brock Lesnar in some of those matchups there. Yeah, you give me Lesnar versus Omega, you have my money.
You give Lesnar enough money, he'll do it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of splash they need to make if they're gonna be successful.
CM Punk going to AEW would put them on the map.
And I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if there's enough money to convince them otherwise.
I heard that CM Punk turned them down. Mm-hmm. They talked to him, he turned them down. A part of me thinks CM Punk turned him down, thinking, maybe in the future if they actually do something with this. Another part of me thinks, yeah, I'm in, but don't tell anybody. I want to be that do a run in.
Yeah. That would be huge. That would get everybody talking. But at the same time, if I was going to pay you, Mark Thomas, if I'm going to pay CM Punk, if I'm going to pay anybody the amount of money, you better believe I'm going to try to sell some tickets, which they're not having any trouble selling tickets, pay-per-view buys, etc. You're my draw.
Yeah.
I don't want people to know that you're there. Now, if he agrees to come in without getting paid for maybe that appearance or something like that and get paid in the future, it could be a different thing.
Which is doubtful.
But
he's made a shit ton of money for 2 fights in the UFC.
Sure.
So.
I don't think money's the issue for Punk.
I don't think it is. He's got plenty.
It's what he wants to do with his life.
If I had all his money and AJ Lee sleeping next to me, I'd be pretty happy with everything.
So everybody trying to pull you back in to go out and get the be back on the road getting the crap beat out of you. Be like, you know what? I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right with my life.
Sitting at home writing comics and fucking not getting hurt. I'm cool with that. Fucking my hot ass wife.
Right. Doing whatever you want to do. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, man, as we talked about those NXT guys being called up, I feel like WWE right now is in kind of a weird limbo. I feel like there's a strong lack of focus on the shows, and it makes them somewhat difficult to watch.
Yeah.
To be honest, right now. But that being said, it is WrestleMania season. It's coming around the bend here, and there is things to be excited about. We talked about the Becky Lynch storyline. We talked about the Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston storyline. I think those two things alone, stuff to be very excited about. And then there's just so much talent that there's so many blanks that can still be filled in for WrestleMania that I'm excited about. I heard Randy Orton, AJ Styles being rumored.
Really?
That'd be a good match.
I'd watch it.
With that match.
AJ Styles, for me, even a mediocre AJ Styles match to me is a good match.
If you can get Orton with his working boots on, I think AJ's the kind of guy that could do it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that match. John Cena, we don't know what he's doing yet. We don't know if The Undertaker is going to do anything at all. But I still think there's a lot of holes to be plugged in for WrestleMania that I think either they have a plan and they're just being slow about giving it to us, or they're not sure yet, but there's still so much talent that I think it's going to try to be a good show. Despite most likely there's going to be a Miz versus Shane McMahon match coming, which I do not care about.
You think so?
I think so.
I think Shane is setting Miz up, especially with the last thing that went on with them.
I think Shane is setting Miz up?
Yes.
The obvious story would be Miz turning on Shane.
I think they've been kind of setting us up for a Shane heel turn for a while, and I think they probably even backed out of it a couple times.
Yeah, most likely, because it was kind of building with him and Daniel Bryan last year.
Exactly.
At the same time. You got Kevin Owens most likely coming back, which his cell phone promos are weird.
I love them though. They're weird, but they're odd. I just like the little dynamic with the kids.
Kids and everything. Yeah. So you got Kevin Owens potentially coming back for a match. Bray Wyatt still just chilling out there.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that I haven't seen Bray Wyatt in forever.
Just chilling out there, gone.
Which, oddly enough, haven't seen JoJo either. I haven't seen JoJo in a while.
Who's doing the ring announcing on Raw?
I don't know, but I've seen like a couple. There's like one new face of somebody that I've never seen before that was just recently. But I don't know if she was the ring announcer. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just not looking for JoJo. But I don't remember seeing JoJo. But that one chick, Charlie or something.
Charlie Caruso.
She's been popping up a lot more lately.
Yeah,
so
backstage.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe JoJo's preggers.
Maybe got some baby Brays coming along.
Make it go viral, people. Spread it all over the place.
The rumor
you heard it here, Ohio.
Right
Wrestlecast.
here. And
JoJo's is preggers.
Waco, Ohio, pretty much.
And Carmella is fucking
Corey Graves. That is a
actually
rumor.
Corey Graves took the bullet for me. She's been fucking me this whole time. I'm just kidding.
Bless your heart, Corey Graves.
No, I'm all yours, Becky. I'm all yours.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
All right.
Hey,
Anyway.
if Becky's interested in hanging out, listening to some Pearl Jam records with you, man, I think
We're a match made in heaven, dude. Me and Becky.
you think so?
Oh yeah,
Man, I love you to death, but I might have to compete
dude,
with you on
I
that
will
one.
fight you to
You're
the death.
It's Becky Lynch. You'd respect that I would do
know.
the same. Yeah.
No, and I would not hold back. Anyway,
I think we had a nice little rebound episode here. We got to catch
Yeah.
up on the current product, and we'll make sure we get back with you guys again as the WrestleMania card starts rounding itself out, and we get a real clear view of what's going on, and we'll do our preview and rundown. But, I think we did a nice little catch up here.
agreed.
Talking about what's going on in wrestling, and
You want to talk about your upcoming matches?
my upcoming stuff. Oh, man. I got some stuff going on. Well, if this gets released before the end of the week, I have a match on Saturday in Sebring, Ohio against the natural Christian Vaughn, a fella that I came up in the business with. We'll be out there in Sebring at the community center on West Texas Avenue. Haven't wrestled each other for a few years, but every time we do, it's a brutal one. I actually shared a picture on Facebook of me being basically tiger drivered onto a sit-it-out chair
Yeah.
where I got folded over. Yeah, so every time we
Heinous.
wrestle, it's always a massacre. So I got that coming up. So hopefully we get this out and maybe we get some folks come out there this Saturday on March 2nd. But the following Saturday, and we'll talk about that a little bit more on our upcoming episode, but I will plug March 9th. We'll be back in Massillon, Ohio, where I have to wrestle the beautiful yet dangerous Ms. Super Oprah.
I'm a big Super Oprah fan. By the
Ms.
way,
Super Oprah is she's either looking for love or looking for violence, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to approach that match right now as we speak. But yes, I got Super Oprah, who is honestly, we're making a little bit of jokes. Incredible performer for real. It's an attraction anywhere that she goes. So March 9th out in Massillon, Mid Ohio Wrestling. Patrick Hayes and JJ DeVille for the heavyweight title, but me and Super Oprah, we're on the top of the poster. We're going to be the main event, and should be a hell of an entertaining show.
yeah, I can't wait to hear about it. See the results.
It is going to be a hear about it because March 9th is also one of somebody else's really big night.
Yes, small debut
small
on UFC
debut.
on ESPN
Yeah.
with Jeff Hughes versus which is now
Mo
Maurice
Green. Yeah. So if
Crochet
you-
boss.
Yeah, he's a crochet boss. So if somehow anybody can figure out how to go check out a great indie show and watch Jeff's fight, man, I hope the timelines can wear off because that's exactly what I want to do.
I'm sure there's a way it can happen.
There's a way it can happen. So March 9th, big night for. It's a big night for me, but it's I think a slightly bigger night for Jeff.
Big night for our whole little family here at
Our
Matt
whole
Archer.
sort of podcast, get the crap beat out of ourselves, beat the crap out of people podcast network that you have.
Yeah, that's what it's turned into, I guess. Didn't start that way, but I love it. I love what it's become. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This has been Ohio Wrestlecast number 11.
Number 11/12.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Thanks for hanging out with
Yeah,
us.
thanks for watching, and till next time.
Bye, Internet.